Don't let those scientists talk you into doing something stupid. The Institute is a fool's paradise.
Attention! Any soldiers who have not yet received a field assignment from Proctor Tegan should speak to him at once. That is all.
Can't talk right now. Gotta clean the Mirelurk scat off my boots.
Knight?
I'd gladly lay down my life.
Tegan,
What can I get for you today?
set me up.
Got some choice weapons that just came in.
Duty shift was long, but I'm glad we're making a difference out here.
Have you ever fired a minigun? Chews through barrels like paper.
Don't let Ingram catch you standing around. You'll be on report before you can blink.
If you're looking for ammunition or weapon mods, Proctor Teagan might have what you need.
Attention all Brotherhood soldiers. If you have not yet received your Squire mentorship assignment, please come see me on the bridge. Repeat, if you have not received your mentorship assignment, please report to the bridge. That is all.
The Prydwen is a magnificent ship, and we're lucky to have her in our arsenal.
Pull up a stool, Knight.
I prefer laser weapons myself. It's a cleaner shot, and leaves that memorable ozone smell behind.
Paxton might appear compassionate, but I can assure you, the Institute will face his wrath.
Can I help you with anything?
I'm looking for some firepower.
Be my guest.
There are days I miss being out in the field, usually during lunches.
I received word that Dr. Lee is returning to us. How cooperative do you think she'll be?
I've convinced her that the Institute is the enemy, not the Brotherhood.
Well done, Knight. As soon as Dr. Lee arrives, we'll interrogate her aboard the Prydwen. She's been under the Institute's influence for the last decade, and we can't afford to take any chances. Now, I believe you still possess an important piece of data that Proctor Ingram is eagerly awaiting. I want you to bring it to her immediately. Once again, Knight, you don't fail to impress. Dismissed.
The Commonwealth looks bad? You should see the Capital Wasteland.
I heard that Delco Maxon on that small piece.
You know those synths with the plastic faces? Ugh, they creep me the heck out.
Here's your holotape, Proctor. Hope the data on that thing was worth it.
Thanks. You know, it's good to see you're still in one piece. I wasn't sure what the Interceptor would do to you.
I wasn't worried. After all, I built the device myself.
I have confidence in everything I built, too. But that's because I'll only deal with technology that I understand. Speaking of technology I don't understand, I'll get this holotape to Proctor Quinlan. I'm dying to find out what's on it.
Hopefully, it'll reveal a weakness in their defenses.
That would be the best-case scenario. Before we jump to conclusions, let's see what Quinlan's scribes can get off of it. I'm sure the Institute has all of their data heavily encrypted, so it's gonna take some time to crack. After that, we'll have to see what we've got. There's no telling what we might have grabbed off their mainframe. In the meantime, I've got a new assignment for you. So, I bet you're eager to get your hands dirty on our new project. How much has Maxon told you about it?
Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll help us crush the Institute.
It will, but we've got a lot of work ahead of us first. Come on, it's this way. Unless you're blind as a bat, I'm sure you've noticed that we've been building a gantry on the tarmac. Maxon and Kells have been looking for something that'll tip the balance when we go toe-to-toe with the Institute. Now, the Prydwen might be a big beast, but she's not built for fighting. That's where our new project comes in.
The Brotherhood behind us will never fall.
This storage bay full of parts is what's left of Liberty Prime. The Brotherhood used it in the Capital Wasteland as a weapon against the Enclave. It's the most advanced robot the Brotherhood has ever had at its disposal. Unfortunately, Liberty Prime was destroyed in the line of duty. I've spent the better part of the last few years piecing him back together. And if you think that was easy, try rebuilding a Protectron while you're blindfolded. In order to get Liberty... Before you run off, maybe you should listen to your orders. This robot isn't going to build itself. In order to get Liberty Prime fully operational, we're going to need your help.
No problem. I'm sure this only looks worse than it actually is.
I wish I had your confidence, because this is not going to be easy. Now, the good news is that we've got most of Prime's parts fully assembled. The bad news is that it's going to take more than a few rivets and some spot welding to get them working again. And the first problem is his CPU. It's fragile, and every time we try to feed power to it, it blows itself out.
There's gotta be a way to solve that.
I do all the maintenance on the Prydwen, so you'd think it'd be a snap. As much as I hate to admit it, Prime's power systems are out of my league. Luckily, you were able to convince Dr. Madison Lee to return to the Brotherhood. She was on the original build team for Liberty Prime a little over a decade ago. I've already spoken to her, but she's reluctant to work on Prime for some reason. If you could get her down here to lend a hand with his power system, we can get the big guy moving.
Soldier. There's Brotherhood, and there's everything else. Nothing in between.
Ready, sir?
You've wasted enough of my time.
Liberating the con-
Attention. This is a notice to all personnel. Please think of your brothers and sisters down below.
With your reconnoiter of the Institute.
Thoroughly secure all gear while on the flight
Doctor.
deck.
Whatever it is, it'll have to wait. Whatever it is, it'll have to wait. Whatever it is, it'll have to wait. Whatever it is, it'll have to wait.
Hey, Dr. Lee.
Whatever it is, it'll have to wait.
Go check that out.
Once we decrypt that intel, you recovered from the
Whatever it is, it'll have to wait.
A lot
You
more about
haven't lived until you tipped a Brahmin with a bird. Now that's a challenge.
Excuse me, Dr. Lee?
Whatever it is, it'll have to wait.
I can't wait to see Liberty Prime in action again.
If you're here to talk me into working on Liberty Prime, you can forget it.
You promised you'd help us.
You're right, I did. But you neglected to mention that I'd be asked to work on Liberty Prime. I've been down this road with the Brotherhood before. Why would I make the same mistake twice?
Why won't you help us with Liberty Prime?
I originally left the Brotherhood because I was tired of being stepped on and used. First, there was the Water Purification Project, designed to freely benefit the entire Capital Wasteland. Even though the Brotherhood allowed it to be activated, they wanted to control it. But that wasn't enough. they forced me to help design Liberty Prime. Turned my work into a weapon of war. I had enough, so I left. It's as simple as that.
Because we care what happens to the Commonwealth.
You know, if anyone else wearing a Brotherhood of Steel uniform said something like that, I'd laugh in their face. But coming from you, it sounds like you actually mean it. Tell Proctor Ingram to get her scribes ready. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work to get Liberty Prime back online, but we'll get it done.
Put 2 in the head and they'll stay dead. Advice to live by. We'll stop the Institute.
Proctor Tegan.
For Max and
Nice
the
work
Brotherhood.
bringing Dr. Lee back into the fold. Now, there's something you need?
Set me up.
All of my weapons are mission ready.
That Salisbury steak is mine.
Unless you like getting shot, never turn your back on it.
Proctor Ingram.
Wow, things are off to a good start. Isn't that right, Doctor?
I hope so. Prime suffered some significant damage to his memory core. I wish your people would have been a bit more careful, Proctor. The good news is that the damage isn't irreversible, and I should be able to get the power flowing into his CPU core without overloading. If your people stay out of my way, that is.
Charming, isn't she?
Sorry about that, Ingram.
Don't worry about it. We might be butting heads on a few issues, but I've dealt with worse. Besides, Dr. Lee's worth all the aggravation. We're working with one of Prime's original designers. I don't see it getting any better than that. In fact, since things are going so well, we're gonna have you start building his electromagnetic actuators.
Sure, anything you need.
That's what I love about you. You're ready to leap into action, and I bet you don't have the faintest idea what I'm talking about. The actuators are what allows Liberty Prime's arms and legs to move. Prime's new limbs are way too heavy for the simple hydraulic pistons he had in the past. We're gonna have to rip those out, construct a brand new system using electromagnets, and install them in his limbs. What we need you to do is build the actuators for us.
Now that you know what the actuators are, you need to know how to make them. These are the plans and the materials list. Don't lose them.
Now, before you get that look on your face, you'll be happy to know that we have plenty of the raw materials on that list right here at the airport. The only thing we need you to head out and find is a high-powered magnet. According to Proctor Quinlan, the best place to find one is in any of the ruined hospitals around the Commonwealth. We've already sent out a few teams to find the rest of the high-powered magnets you'll need. They should be back by the time you return.
Once you start building the actuators, we need one for each limb, so you'll need to make a total of 4. Good luck.
anyone attacks this place, they need an army to burn us out.
Reporting for duty, sir. Oh god, mold having a stick. Excuse me.
If it looks dead, put one more in its head.
Unidentified intruder detected. Beginning search. Please step into the open and identify yourself. Abiding citizens, fugitive should be considered near and dangerous.
Why not let the robot deal with it?
Continuing search area secure.
Excuse me, should you be out?
Warning. Fugitive has evaded pursuit. Law enforcement authorities now have primary responsibility for apprehension. All clear. Going down. Basement.
Nice. That's it.
Any further escape attempts?
Please stand still and we shall begin.
Please stand by. basement. Attention. This is now a combat zone. You may suffer harm up to kill. Kill.
Sweet.
Going up. Second floor.
Hey. Hey. Got it.
Someone there?
That's all 4 actuators. Delivered and done. Nice work.
Right on schedule. I've completed the restoration of Prime's basic functions, and he's ready to go. In fact, it's getting difficult to explain to the system why it can't move right now.
Well, as soon as my scribes get those actuators in place, we'll have his arms and legs installed in no time. Which brings me to your next assignment. It won't be long before Prime can walk and talk, but he's missing one last important element. His nukes. Without them, his offensive systems aren't operating at peak capacity.
What's Prime armed with?
Prime has 2 weapon systems, his eye laser and his nuke pack. The eye laser can target a hostile from hundreds of yards out and take it down with pinpoint accuracy. His nukes are modified Mark 28 nuclear bombs. They used to drop the things from bombers during the war. Just one of the nukes is equivalent to about 3 or 4 Fat Man shells. Basically, whatever it hits isn't getting up again. His eye laser is almost ready to go, but without nukes to load into his pack, he's fighting at less than half his capability.
I'll run down to the Super Duper Mart and pick some up.
Cute. I wish it was that simple. Prime's bomb pack is fitted for Mark 28 nuclear bombs. The same type of bombs that were... The Commonwealth was a major staging area for the military's Air Force, so we assumed we wouldn't have trouble finding them. But since we arrived, our scouting teams haven't located a single bomb.
That's going to be a problem. Without a fully loaded nuke pack, Prime won't have the firepower to take on the Institute.
Can I build the nukes like I built the actuators?
I could build you 1,000 nuke casings, right now, but we've got nothing to put inside them. The Mark 28s have a specialized nuclear payload that requires the correct balance of fissile materials in order for them to detonate properly. In other words, I'd love to mix you a cocktail, but I'm all out of liquor. But before you give up hope, there's actually a silver lining here. Proctor Quinlan has located some records regarding a military installation, which was used as a nuclear weapons storage facility. We're fairly certain this included a stockpile of the Mark 28s. The catch is that the installation is located somewhere within the glowing sea.
I'll head out there immediately.
Good, because that's exactly what we're asking you to do. Scribe Halen's established a communications point on the frontier of the glowing sea. I suggest you head out there first, and establish a signal protocol with her so that the nukes can be airlifted out once you've located them. Hopefully, by the time you've returned, we'll be ready to wake Prime up, and you can say hello. Good luck, Knight.
Scribe Halen.
It's good to see you again, Knight. You've come a long way since you stumbled into the Cambridge police station.
Thanks, Halen. I assume the place is still in one piece.
We're doing the best that we can. We've had the occasional synth attack, but so far we've been able to keep them from overrunning us. Thanks to the reinforcements and the air support, I'd say that site was secure.
That's not surprising. After all, it's in good hands.
I appreciate that. Anyway, I know you don't have time for small talk, so I'll get right to it. I've had the men set up the equipment we'll need to pinpoint you once you've found the bombs. We've rigged up this distress pulsar to emit a unique tone that we'll be listening for. When you find the bombs, plant the pulsar, and we'll handle the rest. After that, you should probably head back to Proctor Ingram and bring her your report.
Why use this distress pulsar?
Unless you could locate an entire radio station within the glowing sea, there's no way you're going to be able to send out a regular signal. Luckily, the distress pulsar's ping cuts right through the interference, and we'll be able to hear you as long as we stay close to the frontier. Look, I know you've been through the glowing sea before, but remember to keep an eye on your Geiger counter. If you don't, the radiation will cook you from the inside out. Good luck, Knight.
What?
What? Over here. Hey there.
State your purpose, stranger. You walk on Atom's hallowed ground.
I'm looking for some bombs. Nuclear bombs.
You trivialize that which resides here. This place is holy. The children of Atom have sworn to guard this place until the time of the Great Divide. None shall enter.
Trust me, I'm on your side here. I want to help you out.
Atom has no need of help from non-believers. When he returns to us, these relics will carry his word and his glory to all corners of the earth. That is why they must be safeguarded.
I want to spread his, glory. Look, the bombs will get used, okay? Isn't that what you want?
Your words ring hollow. I do not hear Atom's voice in yours. You seek to further your own ends, not his. The relics will remain, and you will leave. Now.
Forgive me. I wish to repent and seek the wisdom of Atom.
You are forgiven. Take this, and prepare to enter his inner sanctum. Follow the brilliance of the glow, and it shall lead you to the relics. May Atom's radiance warm your soul.
Sir? Sir?
May Atom guide you, brother.
Proctor.
Looks like the Mark 28s are gonna do the trick. That was a good find.
I'll work with your team to ensure that Prime's bombs remain stable after they're loaded into his pack. It won't be too much of a problem.
Well, Dr. Lee, I have to admit, we couldn't have done this without you.
It's a little early to begin celebrating, Proctor Ingram. We haven't fully thrown the switch on Liberty Prime, and I'm just hoping all the...
Excuse me, Proctor Ingram.
Looks like the Mark 28s are gonna do the trick. That was a good find.
I'll work with your team to ensure that Prime's bombs remain stable after they're loaded into his pack. It won't be too much of a problem.
Looks like the Mark 28s are gonna do the trick. That was a good find.
I'll work with your team to ensure that Prime's bombs remain stable after they're loaded into his pack. It won't be too much of a problem.
Well, Dr. Lee, I have to admit, we couldn't have done this without you.
It's a little early to begin celebrating, Proctor Ingram. We haven't fully thrown the switch on Liberty Prime, and I'm just hoping all the work I've done to keep the system stable are gonna hold.
I have full confidence in the abilities of everyone here.
I appreciate that.
Proctor, all the readouts look green. I think it's time for you to perform the power shunt.
Actually, I think I'm gonna let you press the button. After all, without your help, we'd still be staring at a pile of disassembled parts.
It would be better if a trained technician performed that task, but I suppose you deserve to be the one to do it.
Liberty Prime, back online.
Alright, let's run a basic diagnostic on him.
Diagnostic command accepted.
Give him a moment. He needs to adjust to his new configuration.
Voice module online. Audio functionality test initialized. Designation: Liberty Prime Mark II. Mission: the liberation of Anchorage, Alaska. Primary targets: any and all red Chinese invaders.
Now let me run a system analysis and a battle readiness check.
Liberty Prime, full system analysis. All systems, nominal. Weapons, hot. Warning, nuclear weapon payload depleted. Reload required. Warning, power core offline. Running on external power only. Core restart recommended. Ability to repel red Chinese invaders compromised.
Got green lights across the board here. He's looking good from where I'm sitting. Doctor, if you wouldn't mind keeping an eye on the big guy here, I'd appreciate it. Well, I have to admit, I wasn't sure we'd be able to pull it off, but Liberty Prime's looking pretty good.
With him on our side, I don't see how the Institute even stands a chance.
I couldn't agree with you more. Before you head off to your next assignment, I have something for you. I came up with this little beauty myself. I think it'll add a bit more punch to your power armor.
You think I'll need it for my next assignment?
I don't know, but it never hurts to be prepared. Anyway, that's enough of that. You better hightail it up to the Pridwin. Elder Maxson said he needed to speak to you as soon as you were done here. And thank you, Knight. Without you, none of this would have been possible.
Damn feral. Radiation has a twisted sense of humor.
there anything you wish to tell me, Knight?
Not at all. I have nothing to hide.
I find that very hard to believe. Proctor Quinlan completed the decryption of the data you retrieved from the Institute. A portion of his findings included a list of synths that went missing or escaped from their underground facility. After careful analysis of the information, we've discovered something unprecedented. Paladin Danse is a perfect match for one of the synths on that list.
That's impossible.
I'm afraid not. The evidence is quite damning. The data you brought back included a record of each subject's DNA. We keep the same information on file for all of our soldiers. Paladin Dance's DNA is a perfect match for a synth they called M797. To make matters worse, he's gone AWOL. Disappeared without a trace. His sudden absence simply reinforces our conclusion that M797 and Paladin Danse are one and the same. I'm finding it difficult to believe that he never confided in you, and then swore you to secrecy.
You have to believe me. He never told me he was a synth.
I suspect you're saying exactly what I want to hear, Knight. Do you wish to try again?
Had he told me, it would have been my duty to report it immediately.
Apparently, I've misjudged you, which means I've decided to take you at your word. However, that doesn't absolve you of your duty. Danse is a synth. He represents everything we hate, a monstrosity of technology. Our mission in the Commonwealth is clear. The Institute and its creations need to be destroyed in order to preserve our future, which leaves me facing the most difficult order I've ever given. I'm ordering you to hunt down Danse and execute him.
With pleasure. I'll make him pay for lying to us.
I appreciate your cooperation. Listen, I'm not blind to the fact that Danse was your mentor, and this isn't an easy burden to bear. But if we're to remain strong, we can't afford to make exceptions. Even when it means executing one of our own. Find Proctor Quinlan. He's been analyzing the data and should be able to provide you with a starting point. And Knight, there's a promotion for you riding on the results of these orders. So don't disappoint me. You're dismissed.
Attention all Brotherhood soldiers. If you have not yet received your Squire mentorship assignment, please come see me on the bridge.
I was told you were coming.
Repeat, if you have not received your mentorship assignment, please report to the bridge. That is all.
I wouldn't miss a synth any sooner than I'd miss a transistor radio. I was merely sorry that you'd been duped. No matter. I've been poring over Dance's duty reports, and unfortunately, I haven't found any concrete information. As you're well aware, Danse had intimate knowledge of the Commonwealth, and I'm afraid he could be seeking refuge anywhere. I think our best approach would be to identify every location he's ever visited and eliminate them as possibilities one by one. You may want to get comfortable. This could take quite a bit of...
What the hell is this crap about Danse being a synth?
I assume your outburst was a reference to some doubt regarding Dance's identity. I can assure you that my findings are quite accurate, Scribe.
So he sets Danse up, and then you knock him down. Is that it?
Orders are orders.
Orders are orders? That's all you have to say? I can't believe that after everything Paladin Danse did for you, you're just gonna turn your back on him like this. There's obviously been a mistake, and we need to get to the bottom of it.
Scribe Halen, you're addressing a senior officer, and you will show him the respect that he's due. Or so help me, I'll have you brought up on charges. Now, unless you're here with information that can assist us, I suggest you return to the police station immediately.
Of course. My apologies, Proctor. I believe I have some information that's relevant to the search.
Very well then. Would you care to enlighten us? Or do we have to wait until you decide to grace us with your knowledge?
Knight, if you'd accompany me to the flight deck, I'd like to show you the information I've compiled firsthand. I've stored the data on my Vertibird gunship's computer.
I'll take anything that gets me closer to finding Danse.
Yes, sir.
Proceed, Knight. I'll continue doing my research here.
If you'll follow me, sir.
Proctor Quinlan.
Thanks to you, I hope to fend off the constant demands for technical data.
I found some technical documents for you.
These look rather promising. So, here are the caps that I Remember, check every building you explore.
Haylen?
This way.
Scribe?
Do you actually plan on killing Paladin Danse?
I'm following orders. You should do the same.
I know I should. But before you head out, I need you to listen to what I have to say. I've known Paladin Danse ever since I was an initiate. He trained me, showed me the ropes, and when I screwed up, he taught me to dust myself off and move on. He's earned my admiration, my respect, and my friendship. I don't care what Quinlan's report says. I don't care if he's a machine or not. He's still Danse.
You're sympathizing with a traitor.
That's exactly my point. Danse is the most selfless person I've ever met. I've watched him risk his own life based on nothing more than principle alone. That's why I'm asking you. Not just as a member of the Brotherhood, but as a human being. Give him a chance. Let him tell his side of the story. If you're not convinced by what he says, or somehow he's become truly lost to us, then you do what you have to do.
All right, I'll hear him out.
That's all that I ask. I'll just have to trust that when the time comes, you'll do the right thing. Before the Prydwen showed up, Danse had me identify a fallback point if we ever lost the police station. It was Listening Post Bravo, an old pre-war US military outpost on the northern frontier of the Commonwealth. It's isolated, and we're the only ones that knew about it. So, there's a good chance that's where he's headed. Just be careful. There's no telling what state of mind he's in right now, or if he trusts any of us at all.
Should give us the air superiority we need to win this war.
Attention. Tomorrow's tactical briefing has been postponed. A new time and date will be forthcoming.
Battles we win, there's always another fight ahead of us.
Technological abominations need to be stopped at any cost.
Hostile target identified.
I'm not surprised Maxon sent you. He never liked to do the dirty work himself.
I wish you would have told me the truth, Dance.
I might have, if I'd known what I was. Until Quinlan got that list decoded, I thought synths were the enemy. I never expected to hear that I was one of them. If it wasn't for Haylen, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So, what are your orders? Does Maxon even want me alive?
No. But I don't...
Seems obvious to me. Look, I'm not blind to the fact that we're good friends, and this must be very difficult for you. I wish Maxon had sent someone else, but that doesn't change a thing. I'm a synth, which means I need to be destroyed. If you disobey your orders, you're not only betraying Maxon, you're betraying the Brotherhood of Steel and everything it stands for. Synths can't be trusted. Machines were never meant to make their own decisions. They need to be controlled. Technology that's run amok is what brought the entire world to its knees, and humanity to the brink of extinction. I need to be the example, not the exception.
If you really feel that way, why did you run in the first place?
The moment I learned the truth, I knew my life was in danger. I'm a soldier, so self-preservation kicked in. I needed to regroup and assess the situation. Once I got here, and I had some time to think, I realized I'd just made everything worse. I should have stayed on the Prydwen and accepted the inevitable. Like I said, I need to be the example, not the exception.
I can't tell if that's the human or the machine talking.
The fact that you're confused only strengthens my decision. I'm ready to accept the consequences of my true identity. Maxon's ordered you to execute me, and I'll be damned if I'm going to stand in your way.
If it needs to be done, then so be it.
I've never been prouder of you than I am right now, brother. It's been a pleasure serving with you.
Going up. Ground floor.
betrayed us all.
Report, Knight. Have you handled the situation with Paladin Danse?
Do you want his holotags as proof?
That won't be necessary. Perhaps you should keep them as a reminder of your lapse in vigilance. Of course, Dance's execution creates a missing link in our chain of command. That traitor held quite an important position with us. I'm certain that you'll make a fine replacement. His quarters and all his possessions are now yours, including his personal suit of power armor. Congratulations, Paladin.
Body's not even cold, and you're already dividing the loot?
To the victor go the spoils. Being a part of the Brotherhood, you should learn to appreciate that sentiment. Just be aware that a Brotherhood Paladin is expected to be a symbol of integrity to our brothers and sisters. I trust you won't disappoint them, or disappoint me. In any event, we still have the Institute to contend with, and a lot of work to do before we can begin our final assault. While the finishing touches are being put onto Liberty Prime, Captain Kells has identified a potential threat to our operations. Report to him immediately for your next assignment. Ad Victoriam, Paladin.
Attention, this is a reminder. Any recovered historical, technological, or social documentation should be delivered directly to Attention. Due to increased raider activity, all leave requests to off-base sites have been temporarily suspended.
I'm too busy to speak right now.
Affected parties will have their leave compensated at the next available opportunity. That is all.
Never did understand how you folks ate inside those big tin cans.
I'm pleased to see Maxon's promoted you to Paladin. You deserve it, brother.
Nothing to report right now, Paladin.
Heard you gave those muties at Fort Strong something to think about. Can you believe synths are replacing humans with exact duplicates?
Hail, Paladin.
Carry food with you or you'll end up eating some pretty questionable things.
Can't believe super mutants were humanoids. How could science have gone so wrong?
If you're done here, clear out.
Elder Maxon ordered me to follow.
Excuse me, Captain Kells?
Ah, Paladin. Good. Now that the unfortunate matter regarding Dance has been settled, we can return to our primary mission.
I'm ready, Captain.
Good, because this mission demands your full attention. Now, before we launch our attack on the Institute, we need to address another threat. The Railroad. They're a small but capable group that uses subterfuge and guerrilla tactics to harass their enemies. Our tactical analysis says they could possibly hamper or harm our operations, which is a risk I'm not willing to take. If we strike them now, we should be able to maximize the amount of damage we do to their organization.
Why is the Railroad such a threat?
Even with their relatively small numbers, the Railroad is a constant threat to our operations. They've already proved, worse still, they possess the capability to help synths flee the Institute. If we intend to end the synth menace, we need to plug the leaks. Destroying the Railroad hinges on completely eliminating their leadership. Otherwise, they'll simply regroup somewhere else. To that end, here's a list of the 5 targets we believe would cause a catastrophic failure in their chain of command.
Consider it done.
Thank you, Paladin. Now, before you depart, Proctor Ingram has additional orders for you to complete.
Our sources tell us that the Railroad has some sort of experimental or prototype robot in their headquarters. They're calling it the Predictive Analytic Machine, or PAM for short. Cute, huh? They use the robot for complex strategic calculations that are much more efficient than anything we can generate here. If you could use this holotape to decrypt the security on PAM's terminal, it will force the unit to return to the Prydwen. I'm certain we could put PAM's computing power to good use. Otherwise, destroy it. We wouldn't want it to fall into the Institute's hands.
I'll try to get it back here in one piece.
Good. It'd be a hell of a waste if you didn't.
I'm certain you'll do whatever it takes to complete the mission. When you're ready, proceed to the Old North Church and link up with our assault team. They'll provide demolition support and all the firepower you'll need to take the Railroad down. Ad Victoriam, Paladin.
If you find anything interesting in the Railroad headquarters, don't forget to bring it back here.
Now that Dr. Lee's arrived, I'm certain she'll be vital to the Brotherhood's success.